What is up, YouTube? Hopefully you're all doing fantastic. We've got the Snap-on Benchtop Charger Plus and the Tornado 30,000 battery chargers. I'm gonna be going over these. I've already done a full review video of this, so I would recommend, if you're interested in knowing all the specifics and everything about this charger, I would go back and look at that video first and then come back to this one. But I'm gonna be comparing the two and kind of showing you the main differences of them, giving you pricing and all of those things. Actually, let's just get right into pricing right off the bat. Surprisingly enough to all of you out there, the Snap-on is cheaper than the Topdon. The Snap-on is $314 full MSRP. As you all know, they'll run sales every now and again. I think I paid around $300, but I can't remember. It wasn't that much off, but it was a little less money. And then the Tornado 30,000 is $350 for the charger. Now, they do also sell an extension cable for the Tornado 30,000. So if you want to make the clamps reach out even longer, they do sell this separately as well. I'm not gonna lie, I cannot remember how much these are, but it is a nice option to add. One of the benefits of the Topdon itself is the long cables as it is. And it was funny because when I was talking to Topdon about it, they said that was one of the complaints, is the cables are not long enough. So that's why they have that extender. But when you compare it to the Snap-on, they're much longer than the Snap-on with the power cord and the clamps. So it really just depends on which way you're looking at it, to be honest, because with the Snap-on, I always have to use an extension cord because it can't reach both the battery and my wall plug, so I have to use an extension cord, versus when I've used the Topdon, I can just plug it straight into the wall and I don't need an extension cord. Is that really the end of the world? No, it's first world problems, but every little bit helps and counts, and the less, you know, kind of annoyances and little things like that that you don't have to mess with, it does help for sure. And then if you add that extender, it's gonna be even better. So it does help. Now, let me get this out of the way too right off the bat. These are not gonna be used for programming. They both only do about 30 amps. You need at minimum 90 amps. Some vehicles you need 100 or more amps. So these are gonna be just for charging batteries and for when you're performing diagnostic testing. Anytime you're performing diagnostic testing and you're gonna be running a series of tests for a long time, you're diagnosing electrical problem, or you're running bidirectional controls, or whatever the case may be, you need voltage. You need good voltage during that entire time. So that is what you would use these for. That's what I use mine for. Anytime that I have key on and I'm doing any sort of diagnosis, one of these bad boys is hooked up. So that's what you're gonna use these for as a whole. Now, one of the biggest benefits of the Benchtop Charger Plus over the Topdon is how compact it gets. Everything tucks in, it wraps around all of the power cord and the cable clamps, all wrap around the charger, which is a very, very nice benefit. The Tornado 30,000 doesn't do that, and honestly, it can be just quite a bit of a mess. And it's kind of annoying. Now, normally what I do is I just take my cords and wrap it around, but you all know how that goes. You start wrapping around cords too much, you go to put it away, or it smashes down on something or whatever, and you can even see here, I don't know if you can see that, but those have been smashed at some point, don't know from what. Now, it still works perfectly fine, so I'm sure these are pretty resilient, and gonna take that, but that's basically how I've been storing it. But it still is a bit of a mess, and you got to unwrap it every time. It's just kind of annoying. Not to say you don't have to unwrap those, but you just swing them out and you're ready to rock and roll. So just being able to use both, I can tell you that is much more convenient and easier to use as far as that portion goes. Now, the other benefit of the Snap-on Benchtop Charger Plus is both the power cord and the battery cables are able to be serviced by themselves. So you can unplug both of these and just replace them individually if you ever cut them, break something, or anything of that nature, versus the Topdon is not that way. Now, you can service just these if you mess up just the end because they have that extension that'll go in between. But outside of that, these are not serviceable like the Snap-on. Now, the reason, at least the reason I assume the Tornado is a little bit more expensive than the Snap-on is it does do 24-volt batteries as well, versus the Snap-on only only goes up to 12 volts. So there is gonna be a slight difference there. The Snap-on has a digital screen. The Tornado 30,000 just has the LEDs on the front here that light up and show you if you're in 6 volt, if you're in 12 volt, or if you're in 24 volt, and then it gives you the different amperages as well. And it also, if you wanna just go full 12 volt supply, it'll give you there. So it does also have a reading at the top here that'll go up to 100% when it's done charging, and it shows you on the Snap-on, it's like a percentage. So it just shows you as it's charging up. So again, there's benefits and pros and cons to both. As far as which one I would choose, honestly, I would still go for the Snap-on. I really have been enjoying the Topdon, and I would not say don't buy it, but I prefer the Snap-on over the two. It's not a big enough deal for me to have to grab an extension cord. It's not that much of an inconvenience outside of just dealing with the clunkiness of all the cables and whatnot on the Tornado, because that's just much easier to use. Plus, they have the nice little hook on the back that you can just hang, and I hang that from the hood latch, the hook, and just hang that up there, and it's nice and out of the way. So to me, personally, I would still grab that. Again, I don't have anything against the Tornado. It is a really good tool, and it's worked flawlessly for the 3 or 4 months that I've used it. So I set the Snap-on aside, didn't use it at all, and used this just so I could get a really good feel for it. So when I do these videos, I have a good idea at least, because I've been using them, you know, week after week after week. On every vehicle that comes in that I'm doing any sort of diagnostic testing, or I'm charging a battery, or whatever the case may be. That's the one I'm grabbing. I don't want to take away from this tool at all by trying to muddy it up and use another tool in the meantime. So if you have any questions about anything, any comments, any concerns, anything, throw them down in the comments. As always, appreciate y'all watching, and we will catch you on the next one.